It is being called a historic moment. Canada, the United Kingdom, and Australia have now officially recognized the state of Palestine. More countries, including France and Portugal, are expected to follow. For Palestinians, it is a long-awaited gesture. For Israel, it is being described as absurd and a reward for terrorism. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, mincing no words, has vowed there will be no Palestinian state. So what does this mean for Palestine, for Israel, and for the world? For Palestine, recognition by three powerful Western states is no small matter. For decades, Palestinians have struggled for international legitimacy. Already, more than 130 countries recognize Palestine. But the United States, Japan, South Korea, and many European states have not. Now that wall is starting to crack, recognition means Palestinians can sign treaties, open embassies, and appoint ambassadors. The UK, for instance, will now host a Palestinian ambassador in London. Yet, recognition alone changes little on the ground. On the very day these announcements were made, 55 Palestinians were killed in Gaza, many of them in Gaza City. Since October 2023, more than 65,000 Palestinians have been killed, while over 1,000 have died in the West Bank. Analysts warn that unless recognition is matched with action, such as sanctions, arms embargoes, or international legal measures, the daily reality of Palestinians will not improve. For Israel, the move is deeply isolating. For the first time, close allies of Washington are breaking ranks. Analysts say this is significant because until now, Western recognition of Palestine was linked to the idea of a peace agreement. Now these governments are acting unilaterally, driven by public opinion at home, where protests against Israel's war have grown louder.
We are all Palestinians! We are all Palestinians!
For the United States, this puts Washington in a tight spot. America remains Israel's closest ally and continues to veto Palestinian membership at the United Nations. But as European partners move ahead, the United States risks losing increasingly out of step with the global mood. For Europe, recognition could be the start of a shift. The European Union is already debating tariffs on Israeli goods and sanctions on its leaders. Boycott campaigns are gaining traction with calls for Israel's exclusion from cultural and sporting events. If more European governments follow, Israel could find itself even more diplomatically cornered. But the big question is, will the world ever unite on Palestine? The truth is, probably not in the near future. The United States veto at the United Nations Security Council blocks full Palestinian membership. And even among those recognizing Palestine, analysts say there is an element of saving face. Leaders in London, Ottawa, and Canberra are under pressure from both pro-Israel lobbies and from angry citizens demanding justice for Palestinians. Recognition allows them to say they are doing something without imposing the kind of tough measures that would truly change Israel's policy. For many Palestinians, the recognition is welcome but bittersweet. It carries symbolic weight, but the occupation and bombardment continue. Still, having said that, recognition is a big step. It chips away at Israel's diplomatic shield. It creates new opportunities for Palestine to join international forums, and it adds momentum to the growing call for accountability. The question now is whether this symbolism will turn into substance or whether it will remain a headline while the suffering in Gaza and the West Bank goes on. For now, the ground reality remains grim. Israel continues its offensive, Palestinians continue to die, and the world remains divided.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.